Well, hey there, it's Dave Dubeau, and today it is my pleasure to be chatting with Mr. Pete Schnepp, who is a very successful and experienced real estate entrepreneur based in Phoenix, Arizona. And Pete's been in the business for quite a number of years, focusing on multifamily properties. So, Pete, great chatting with you.
Thanks for having me on, Dave.
All right. So, for folks who don't know much about Mr. Pete Schnepp, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I live in Phoenix and I am happily married since 2011 to the woman of my dreams. And we have two kids, a 9-year-old son who plays club soccer. And I've got an 8-year-old daughter she does music and piano. And both of our kids are homeschooled. My wife is their teacher. And let's see, I've got one of my dogs recently passed away. He was a French bulldog named Rufus. And we've got another dog that's a rat terrier and 2 guinea pigs in the house.
It's a full house. Now, you've been self-employed for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been self-employed since 2007 now. I own 2 service businesses in Phoenix and a real estate holding company.
All right, very cool. Now, speaking of real estate, what kind of sparked your interest initially about real estate?
Man, I guess it would go way back to my college days when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, probably sparked the first interest. And that really just opened my eyes to, whoa, there's a way to make money while you sleep. And, but at the time it was still, really far-fetched for me. You know what I mean? It took me several years after that before I actually got into the game. But that was the first spark of interest. And then I would say the secondary spark, which really launched me forward, came at the right time in my life when my wife and I were having dinner. We met an elderly couple that had some rental properties, and they made a suggestion that, hey, you should try to buy 1 property per year. And at the time, it was almost like, whoa, that's absurd to think that anybody can buy a property every year. But it was a little bit more doable than some of the other guys or people that talk about doing things on a big scale.
Right.
And so that really kind of started kickstarting things into gear.
So what has your experience looked like over that time frame? I mean, you've been in the real estate investing business for quite a number of years now. What does your portfolio look like right now at the time that we're doing this interview? And what kind of properties are you focusing on?
Yeah, so right now we have a total of 17 properties, and it's I think it's about 43 actual doors or units or tenants. It's a buy and hold strategy, although I have sold a few properties when it made sense.
Small multifamily type properties, that's the main focus. What does that mean for folks that aren't super familiar with real estate investing? How many units are there in these kind of properties?
I've got 4 units buildings, I've got 8-unit buildings, 10 units. A small multifamily could really be considered anything under 50 units. Some people would consider under 100 units as small multifamily. So it's kind of all relative, but what it means is it's not the grand scale projects where it's, 200, 300, 400 units.
Yeah, makes sense. So you've been going slow and steady for the last number of years. Partners, you're bringing on joint venture partners. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I guess after all these years, I've come to the realization that I've done pretty well with what I'm doing, but I'm maxed out with what I can do on my own. And I've learned through just being a business owner that you get a lot further with partners.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because like you say, you've done very, very well on your own financial steam, but sooner or later, every real estate investor runs out of cash and or credit or qualifying to get more mortgages. And that's the point where they start bringing on partners, joint venture partners. And that way you're able to keep growing while at the same time, you're able to help people that might not be able to get into real estate investing on their own, do it as your partner. Is that correct?
100%.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So there you go. If you're interested in finding out more about what Pete's up to with small multifamily properties in and around Phoenix, there's a couple of things that you can do. Somewhere on this page, probably above this video, there's going to be a link that says contact us. You can click on that and then pick a day and a time that works well for you. And you and Pete can jump on a call and have a conversation. Or Pete, if people want to reach out to you directly, what's the best number?
480-690-1661.
There you go. Reach out to Pete today.